DT side. North will be the aggressor to kick things off. Gade and Valde with the grenades. We've got a P250. Always nice to see. Not a raid boss though, he's naked.
Here we go. Aren't going for some information towards second mid. Pretty common check for some information there. And we have 3 players deep on Banana already for FURIA as well. They are looking hungry for the frags, really anticipating this Banana aggression. And there it comes after a delay. 2 opening picks coming in for North as they press the issue. We'll take a look in from top mid, but he's got to be careful. If he goes down in this position, North have an A-bomb site that will be easy for the taking.
FURIA actually started with 4 players towards B, and with those players lost on Banana, and then they've got 2 more for backup. Put the smoke down to delay things, but there's plenty of advantages to be had for North. They've got time, they've got 5 players to the 3 of FURIA, so they can just wait things out and leave FURIA to guess. As we can see, they've chosen to put all the forces together, which I think makes sense in this scenario. Pretty weak for one person to try and defend a bomb site versus 5 players, so they can go for the retake together. Again, it is pistols, and it simply comes down to headshots a lot of the time. So North have waited, 45 seconds left. Time not a big deal, especially in a 5 versus 3 in pistols. They start to move up. Now they can use Gade as an expendable person. He's only got 9 HP. He has a smoke to deploy. If he falls, it could be collected by somebody else. He's only carrying that 1 grenade. There is the first one. They're going to wrap around a short position. So far, so good. Only Keisarato's facing, so Yuri's baiting his teammate. So, oh, that's disgusting from Keisarato. How is this turning around? His teammate's still just waiting there. He gets taken out. Keisarato will deliver all the kills. What a ridiculous ace.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. I can't believe it. What a beautiful performance. I mean, already it's incredible that they had this guess to just stack this A-bomb site. And look at the baiting there for Keisarato. Just the bait. You only expect 1 player here, but he does it all. What a fantastic mid-air shot onto Kirby. Oh my goodness, what a way to start this one out. And James, I was going to make the point that it's such a critical pistol for North because, again, they had struggles on their T side. It's going to be way harder for them than their CT side. They need to get a solid amount of rounds here, and this is not the way to do it. They'll go for the force buy, and they've got the opening pick there on Keisarato, so revenge is theirs, but can they take the bomb site?
It's so important that they have a 3rd player here when the first one goes down. And there's even a bait in that situation. The entire MP9 magazine is sprayed, and you think, okay, let's punish the first guy, the only guy who's on B, but there's another one there with a UMP, so they try and push through the smokes and get punished for it. But only Gade has been taken out. Valde and Kiabi still alive for the time being. And I was going to say that this is it's still a dangerous scenario. All these players with CZs getting that first pick as well. That can quickly descend into madness for a CT side trying to defend against the force buy. An Orc has been picked up of all things. Yugi's moving into the angles though, rather than holding them. That is something which may be a saving grace for FURIA. They've got a counter grenade. They've got more in line as well as the push finally comes in. Here's up with a pop flash, the MP9, spreading the wells. He's good for 2. And that leaves Yugi alone. 1 versus 3. The scope can be heard. The rotation continues. There's another pop flash. Not going to peek too deep, Vinny. He can buy time for his teammates. The smoke goes. Yugi gets taken out from the back, and the AUG is collected.
Really nice hold there from FURIA. And as you say, James, that extra player on Banana really makes all the difference. And they're off to a really good start. There'll be a moment of just, they can chill. They can chill for this round. There shouldn't really be anything untoward going on. You've got a few PT50s in the hands of North. That's pretty much it. So FURIA can stabilize here. They can use this round to make some money, stabilize their economy, and go aggressive, it seems. So maybe not so much. There's no chill for Art. Art has no chill. Yeah. He only has the W button.
If you are using the premium pass, I would recommend. I love the style of Art, especially on CT Inferno. Keisarato is never a bad pick. Watching him, you might find out why he's so expensive. Now, you don't want to venture too much into apps versus an eco or a force buy. The close quarters makes things better for the pistolers quite often, so you've got to be careful. You can see some massive accidents. Art's looking for more than that 1 kill. He won't wait too long. He's got a nice tight choke point to play with in terms of boiler. Yuri's fallen back to a safer position of 29 HP, but now there's no one on Banana, which is forcing Keisarato to rotate just in case. There's plenty of time for the T's to still make a play towards that B bomb site, so it has to be covered, but a bomb's been spotted in boiler, which certainly helps, and that AUG will cut them to absolute pieces. Valde, last one standing, last one to fall. 4 players surviving for FURIA. Great start for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the cool things about FURIA is that they never let you rest. They never allow you to really have any space. If they have something to work with, they'll try to find ways to be proactive and take the initiative. And taking the initiative is so important in Counter-Strike, as it allows you to disrupt the opponent, allows you to get information, make things really difficult for your enemy. And we'll get the buy-in. AWP straight away on Yugi, and his AWP has been fantastic. He's got quite the ceiling. Now going aggressive again here with this UMP. Talking about taking the initiative, mid-push, 2 rounds in a row from the likes of FURIA. I think they've smoked off second mid. They've got the smoke on pit as well. The trade there onto Gade, a 1-for-1. We'll have to see who that's going to end up favoring here. FURIA wanted to sort of get that SMG, or get rid of that SMG and try to do a lot with it. And they have definitely slowed down North, but have they slowed them down enough?
1 minute 10. Looks like North have come prepared. Their coach is carrying a wad of paper with him. You can see that on the camera on the bottom left. Lots of research, I hope, they have done versus FURIA. They will have needed to, because they are a very dangerous team. Still lots of time for North. Drying out FURIA, forcing them to use their utility. You can see Serato trying to jump in as safe as possible. I think he's seen something, and he will fall back with that. Will that pull rotation? He still has a smoke to play with, as does Able J in the pit. Smoke's being deployed on Banana, and North will start to head towards the A bomb site. 3 of the 4 players are here for FURIA, so this looks like it'll be a very good defense. There's the lurk smoke, which is ironically often done by Brazilians, such as Bolts. And it seems they're ready for this. Dry peaks in the arch position, 20 seconds left. Valde gets taken out. 3 players around the arch area, and they've been slowed down. Maybe too much to really have a chance of winning this round. 2 players in the pit, only 1 showing so far. And they might just get a plant out of this.
They're going for it. AZ planting in the middle of the bomb site there. Headshot onto Kirby, leaving it down to AZ. Down to 2 HP against 2 fully health players. This is going to be incredibly tough for AZ. He needs 2 instant headshots. I don't know how he's going to find these. Stuck in the corner of the site. They know exactly where he is. It's just a matter of time, coordination, and Able J will finish off AZ. It was a good effort. They got the bomb down. They did some economic damage, but it will be the 4th round on the board here for FURIA. And so far, James, FURIA are making CT Inferno look kind of like CT Overpass, where they go really aggressive. You like shut down the forward choke points and then fall back later on. It's a kind of a bizarre start.
Yeah, they're not shy to take the game away from their opponent. And it's the kind of confidence that is great to see. They're thinking for themselves. They're not following the trends of other teams necessarily. Very, very dangerous team. And I'm glad that they have, again, if they've got a run of land, and they're certainly shining on this one. Whether they win or lose this, the ranking updates on HLTV will be very, very interesting. I think it might be a good motivator for MIBR in the future as well. But we're both really high on this team. Really enjoy watching them play.
Yeah, it's so difficult not to be a fan of what FURIA are doing. Hard work, passion, innovating the game, created their own identity, and they've made it. They're making it work too. It's what's not to like. And also they play pretty damn aggressive, so that's always fun to watch as well. However, CT side Inferno, you've got to be careful with your aggression. You can see they're going very passive here. They've got that standard 1-4 setup. They've got Banana control. North may want to try to... there is AZ actually. You could throw a flash to try to force Art back on the Banana position.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's actually a great smoke for Art.
Yeah, even if he doesn't get a kill, it gives them all the information they need. It actually makes his job easier for him. So FURIA can just wait with these 4 players. Look how close Vinny is, ahead of the flashbang. Very deliberate, doesn't quite get the kill though. Again, 3 players seen towards the arch position, but North know what FURIA are aware of. So they have to consider going for a wrap. It won't be the case on this occasion, 30 seconds. And this time it's looking better for North. Yuri running low on bullets, but Case Brato's still here. And the cleanup will be good for FURIA. 5-0, no answer yet to these rounds from North.
How on earth did they turn that around? They were looking kind of done. They were getting picked off. They lost their arch player. I think they lost one in the site as well. But then Serato back against the wall with a really awesome spray down to buy just enough time for a crossfire to come in. That is kind of nuts.
The smoke towards top Banana is interesting because he could smoke the half wall, but you need to go through that smoke if you are going to make a play towards B. So then again, I guess it can create some doubt. You don't know what's behind the smoke, so perhaps you do make a play. But anyway, North are trying to rush towards this B bomb site. They've eaten a lot of damage. I don't think they've seen a single person, but they've certainly seen some grenades.
Yep. That is so much damage. It almost seems very unfair. North.
Warning shots.
They've got no choice but to go for it. And here it is. How much can they get from this? I don't think that it looks very good at all. Serato is absolutely everywhere, James. He's already on 11 kills. We're only 6 rounds into this one.
Yeah, it looks like he's a pretty good choice for the premium pass at the moment.
Yeah.
On A and on B. FURIA are moving pretty well. They're reading the game quite well from what we've seen in terms of having even 4 people on a pistol round towards the B bomb sites. 3 Augs, the AWP. Yuri's got himself an AK-47. So Art hasn't had too much to do in terms of fragging at the moment. He's had a lot to do in terms of communication, though, in terms of he's been given responsibility towards B on his own to allow his team to have confidence holding down that A bomb site. You can see the notepad there. It's a timeout for North. So there will be some discussion.
And one thing as well about FURIA, another thing to be a fan of, is the fact that it's not, I mean, you know, we've had these storylines of, you know, maybe at one point Serato, you know, people were looking to try to like poach Serato, and you know, people were thinking about taking Yuri, you know, these obviously really, really good players individually. But the other cool thing about the FURIA is that they are an incredible team. You know, they are 5 incredible individuals, but as a team, they're really strong together, obviously. So really, this is what a Counter-Strike team should look like. And here we go, Arts. You can expect a lot of shenanigans from him with the AWP, but he's going to be keeping things fairly standard for now. We'll see the bombardment of the banana position with the utility on the CT side. The deep smoke comes in as well, with a flashbang to Boots. And they're actually going to play really passively behind this, avoiding banana completely. There's a lot of switching around of players. So Art was in mid. He's made his way now down to banana. He has assistance. Serato was with him. Saw that smoke previously, but Art's playing in front of it. That's very smart.
Top mid has been taken. The information is not there for FURIA, but they do have 4 players in situ, 1 in CT. Man, there's a rare play from Liquid where they have a pixel gap held by CT roughly from where Serato is shooting from. But there's no time to talk about that because they're pushing into the A site. They've ramped straight in. They're into the crossfire, but they've separated the CTs thanks to the smokes. This might be the first round for North. It's looking pretty good, but these Augs will make it look ugly pretty damn quickly. Yugi now by double stack on his own. He's able to plant the bomb double stack. Serato's on all of 2 HP, so this is doable for him. He'll try and put down the best smoke he can. He's ready for Art Peak, walking with the CZ, and that will be enough. Straight into the angle, but again, the confidence from FURIA is outstanding. 7 rounds from 7 for the Brazilians.
It's walking around with the CZ out. That is something, isn't it? And one thing so far is, which is really cool, is the fact that FURIA have basically called North's bluff every single time. Every time North have tried to smoke banana to suggest like, hey, you know what, you can't play 4 players on A because what if we're just all behind the smoke and going to attack B? Every time FURIA's called the bluff, you know, Arch just played in front of the smoke for 2 times now, effectively. And so that has allowed FURIA to always have 4 players on A. And those rounds have been close. We've had some really close attacks where North, if only they were playing against 3 players instead of 4 on the A side, they probably would win the round. So the fact that FURIA calling the bluff like that in multiple situations means that they're winning the information game. And that's proving pivotal because it's 7-0 now. That is not a bad shot, though. Art getting a bit aggressive, and that's something you can count on when you're up against Arts.
That was quite the headshot. That's a good start, a very good start. An early frag is often very beneficial. But this play, the double stack, is going to be very, very interesting. Jade manages to avoid it, though. Shows a little elbow. Able Dre trying to hold things down, unable to do so. There's no transfer for FURIA, so this one surely is going the way of North. Vinny and Serato remain. Serato 13 for 1. He will take the invitation, but it'll only be good for one. That leaves Vinny in a 1 versus 3. Now, you can hold an angle like this. If anyone tries to cross towards the pit, he has a reasonable chance of getting something out of it. But soon will come a double peak. It's not a triple. The wide swing. Valde will quickly dispatch for Vinny, and there's the first round on the board for North. Surviving with 3 players, also important. There's a fair amount of money here for FURIA to rebuy, but after this round, they could be broken if North can find a second.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary situation for North at this point. Again, we can't really emphasize enough. North are going to have a really strong CT side, but obviously they have to have a good enough T side here, especially because FURIA are, typically a pretty damn strong T-sided team. Now, we'll see Yuri tossing that HE down middle. Ars on the AWP, but he's not going to be playing mid. You can see he's towards Banana at the beginning of the round this time. So they're moving him around quite a lot, trying to keep things unpredictable here. And that's really the best way to play with an AWP. And you need a very top-level AWPer so that you can move him around so much like this. And Art is a very, very good sniper. Now, will it be the case that North try to smoke this and FURIA call the bluff like a 3rd time in a row? That would be pretty impressive, because there's 4 players on A, and every time there's 4 on A, FURIA win the round.
Deep flashes into the A bomb site. Well, it's hit the wall actually. I think that was supposed to go beyond double stack, but FURIA are waiting. They're ready. Again, they've got 4 players towards this A bomb site. And it's not a fake. Art is ahead of the smoke grenade that has been deployed top Banana. Yeah, that's just not really doing the job. It's just not doing the job. And you've got to flash players off that position, because the smoke, again, it's a challenge for both of you. You're smoking yourself off of the B bomb site, as well as FURIA from vision of Banana. And they're not afraid of it. 35 seconds, and North may be expecting FURIA to look for information, but they have the information because there's no one on Banana. They haven't really sold the fake at all. There's a flashbang towards the balcony. Able J will fall off. There is no trade, and that is a big favor for North. All the frags going their way, and Art is left alone towards the B bomb site. So despite having 4 players there, they only get 1 frag this time. FURIA. North abused the numbers advantage just about. Not that much of an advantage with 4 players on A, but it's still gone very well in their way, and the money has been annihilated for FURIA.
The thing that doesn't give me confidence is just the fact that, obviously if you're hitting the shots and your opponents are missing the shots, it's going to go well for you around like this every time. But you don't want it to ever be the case that the CTs can just know what's happening. And every single time, FURIA know what's going on. They know that because Art gets to play in front of the smoke. That's just not working. Like, I can't really stress it enough. It's just not something that's working. I don't know if this is something that North finds is successful against other teams, but FURIA calling the bluff every single time. They always know when to stack 4 players on A. And so even though it worked out this time for North, I think that's not a consistent approach. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Really good shots. Obviously, these Danes are incredible when it comes to the execution, the mechanics. They've got great spacing and team play, like moving into a bomb site, even if you know they're coming, they'll be deadly.
I would expect a slow round from North. I would expect a slow round from North, because they know there's an AWP somewhere. Needs to identify where it is, and that is a fantastic start. The grenades, they know Art plays Banana, and he's left with 8 HP. Now, if he had fallen there, then maybe they would just go straight towards, take the AWP away and go up Banana, but they are going to go, it seems. There's a flash from Art. He's not going to quite hit the connection there. So I don't think this is going to go very well for FURIA. 8 HP and an AWP. We are asking a hell of a lot, and there are plenty more grenades to come, Molotovs and so on. He cannot be forced from his position in any direction. He can't go new box. If that molly lands, he's going to die. So how he positions himself is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I love that we didn't see Yuri after he whiffed a couple deagle shots there, like commit to the death. Instead he gets the damage and falls back. Keeping the numbers alive is really, really critical, because it allows you to kind of overwhelm your opponents if you guess right later in the rounds. And their guess is to stack towards B here. Obviously, we can see that North are going towards A, so...
I think it's partly a gamble. You can see K-Strato standing behind Art. I think the idea is, if Art gets naded or dies for whatever reason, K-Strato can pick up the AWP and try and defend. But if they gamble with the players towards B as well, and the opponent goes A, then maybe there's a better chance that they can hold on to that AWP for the next round. So this is something we used to see in NA on old Inferno years ago. As an anti-eco strat, is almost the entire team or the entire team walking down arch like that. Don't see it so often these days, but there are benefits to it. But there we go. I don't know if North are going to do much hunting. They know there's an AWP somewhere. They could send 1 or 2 sentries, I think, to try and find it. But I suppose they risk giving up an AK, and then there's 2 rifles for FURIA.
Protect the VIP. This is good too because you limit the money that your opponents are getting as well. Like it does add up if you run into those AKs. You know, $300 per kill for the T side. It adds up. Right, so I will save the AWP, and his teammates will be able to buy, although they don't have an enormous amount of money. It's kind of going to be awkward. We're likely going to see some SMGs here so they can fill up on grenades. However, Art is able to drop a rifle, so that's something that he will do. We're going to have a pause by FURIA as they try to work out exactly how to best spend this money for the best results. And on Inferno, you've got a lot of decisions to make because you typically want to be able to challenge Banana. Like you want to be able to keep the pressure on, and that'll also burn utility away from your opponent. But if you don't have enough utility to do that, then you're kind of reserved to playing passively. And if you're playing against a really good T side, they can take maximum advantage. They can take all the map control. You're just stuck guessing at that point. But that can be okay. Like you can then just decide to gamble stack. And that's something that FURIA do, actually. So could work out for them.
So we're not seeing too much rotation of the AWP from FURIA. They're quite happy. But I guess it has been successful for the most part with Art towards this position. But you can see North are adjusting to see more and more HGs in this position as Art tries to take an aggressive angle. Forced away, and this time North will very aggressively push FURIA back. So again, in all of these rounds, FURIA have been, or most of them, they've been successful in having Art alone towards Banana, having fought towards the A bomb site, which has been the right idea, even if they have lost A. But now we're seeing North adjust and these HEs come. Perhaps we'll see some more rotation from Art. North trying to force FURIA to move to a plan B, and their plan A is pretty damn dangerous. Does he look behind the wood? Yeah, he's aware of it. He knows it. Oh, no. He may still get a frag, though. This is a very unusual situation. There's a dry peek from Gade, and if you peek wrong, you die.
It's the bomb, too. So they know exactly what's going on. That's like the one critical bit of information. You see the bomb. Look at the immediate rotation here. We get an additional player to support the B bomb side. But in response to knowing that the opponent's seen the bomb, North are thinking, all right, let's try to book it towards the A bomb side here, which it will be difficult for Abel to hold with Yuri. They're separated, but he's in an elevated position. It can work out really well sometimes, and a double. That is fantastic. That is exactly what he wanted. The backstab will come in from Kirby, though, to keep the round alive for North, but they have a time pressure now as the bomb needs to make its way onto default. And there it is. Yugi will get himself a plant. Kirby, he's having perhaps the best tournament he's had in over a year so far, and he's one of the players left in this clutch, and they're looking good here, North.
FURIA have the information. They know one player's planted a bomb on the site and one player is in the pit. We've got Art moving through the apartments with an AWP. Oh, no, he's picked up a rifle instead. Okay, this is going to be very interesting. They both got kits. There's no grenades. It's just about the dry peaks. The only person who can really peek him is Kiabi. There is Yugi, and the bomb's really far ticked. Yugi's just moved back, and I think that moving back is going to win them the round, basically. There isn't enough time. The crossfire, the fear, the round for North. 3 rounds away now from recovery, and they're building a lot of cash.
Yeah, great round from North. And FURIA, they're starting to have some trouble here. I like the situation that North put FURIA in the last round, because although Yugi gets Art gets that pick, finds the bomber, and that gives away a lot of information. There's 2 options: North either rotate away, or they cut noise and just wait on Banana for a re-peek, try to punish it, or just go into B. So, and that's what FURIA were expecting. But speaking of expecting in FURIA, well, aggression is going to be the name of the game here, but they will be wiped out pretty quickly. That mid-rush is done. And that's one thing that's cool about FURIA, is that they like to keep that pace high. When there's eco rounds, they like to get a bit experimental. They won't be sitting around corners and keeping us from the action, James, because we're straight back into the bind just like that.
Indeed, we are. And we may need that plan B from FURIA. Let's see what's on the floor for Art to pick up. It is an AWP. Now, surely he's deterred from going for the aggressive peaks towards Banana. Indeed, they're going to start a little bit different, FURIA. There are plenty of Molotovs around at Banana positioned. You'll see the grenades towards the tree. Oh, that's bounced the wrong way. That could suggest a lurk. There isn't one, but it could suggest one, and that might keep a second player towards the B-bomb site. But in fact, K-Strato seems confident that Art's in position. Oh, sorry, Vinny is there as well, boosting him up. And the fourth man, it seems, will go towards the A-bomb site. Molotov towards Arch. Fast play from North so far. They want to have that top mid very quickly. Counter smoke from FURIA. This will kill some time. There's not much of a lurker. They do wonder if anyone's creeping up Banana, though. You can see on the radar, AZ's looking behind him. And there's that boost again. That was ever so dangerous last time. Can they be as effective this time?
It's pretty cool to see it this much because not many teams do it as much as this. And we're going to see the grenades coming in, and they know they have to try to cut down the numbers. Don't just let North walk in as 5. Oh, the lineup's absolutely brutal there. Yuri getting himself 3 kills, and the follow-ups cannot be denied. Abel picks them up, and what a setup, James. That is so smart. I mean, FURIA have had trouble holding a full-on A attack. So then they decide, you know what, we're going to try to live and die by top mid, and it works.
Org is absolutely savage. The cleanup from Abel J. They polish the floors. Great 180 from him as well. Very important round for FURIA. I think they need it for their confidence as well, the way North have battered them in the rounds of late. But North have got 5 rounds so far, and the way the first 7 started, this might be okay for them. They've taken a tactical timeout, North, and we see Yugi has picked up an AWP. Not everyone's bought just yet, but we'll see how they adjust. So they forced FURIA off their initial game towards Banana. Art wasn't taking the initial angles. They forced him to use more utility to get the more Molotovs down to smoke off the end instead of posting up with the AWP. But again, when they're making these plays towards A, there isn't really any presence towards Banana, so FURIA are allowed the luxury of extra players towards A. That hasn't always worked out for them, but I think North could be doing more to make the defense of A weaker.
Yeah, and credit to them, you know, for getting themselves those 5 rounds in a row. They're doing really well, despite some of the troubles that they were having. You know, they look really composed, really focused. It's good to see. I really do. I'm enjoying this this new North team, actually, the new roles as well. And it's good to see Kiabi sort of feeling rejuvenated, at least from his performance.
We've got a balcony burst coming. There's a flashbang. There's smoke, but it's not going to come in time. Instant trade. Abel J's got problems, but he does have an AUG, and that can be a problem solver. Forced back into the smoke. That's a problem for Yugi, trying to avoid getting traded, but now how does he get the bomb? The bomb's on the floor inside the pit. It's a 2 versus 4. This is not what they were looking for, North. They can see the flank, but that's going to cost them another player. This has been a rough one. 1 versus 4 for Yugi. He has a minute to play with. Art's completely changed his position, actually. I'd argue he's in a stronger one for this particular peak from Yugi. That flash is too far away to do anything.
So it's actually really smart because what FURIA did here is they actually anticipated what North were up to. Yugi's going to try to do what he can, but he's in such an awful spot here. He still has to get to the pit. Nice shots, but will be finished off. But yet to finish my point. So the balcony burst there is a response from North to deal with the fact that FURIA are putting their defense, they're having a top mid heavy defense. Now, if you go for the balcony burst, that means you get into position ahead of effectively the CTs get out of position because they're playing in top mid, and then you're in pit all of a sudden as the Ts. So that's what North were playing for there. But obviously FURIA, they seem to predict that, and they played an A heavy defense, and it worked out perfectly.
Good fight for both teams in the last round of the first half. We'll see if FURIA can make it to double figures or if North will keep it reasonably close. If they can win this round, North, and win the pistol, then there will not be much between these two teams after half-time. Banana has been taken, FURIA with a 3-man investment, so maybe expecting something funky in the last round. They won't be so quick to have 4 players on the A bomb site, but as I say that, they will start to rotate and have those 3rd and 4th players joining the fray towards A. Molotov, as usual, towards the arch position. Common default for North in this game.
Yeah. It's very true. One of the things that we can remember from the MIBR matchup is that North almost exclusively went towards A. They almost never went to B at all. I think maybe two times or something. So we'll see if FURIA can make this one work. They've lost Art already. So great pick from Yugi. Vinny with the spray from the orb with the help of Yuri is doing enormous quantities of damage, and North are struggling now. Right now, AZ's trying to open up Banana. He's got a 1v1 on his hands. He's going to try to win that against K Serato, but now his teammates are dead. It was all about opening up this path to flank, but there is no path open. And that is a massive scoreline, 10-5 hands. He was everywhere, and he was doing massive damage on the CT side of Inferno previously in this tournament.
Those are pretty generous odds for North. I mean, if they win this pistol, then at least score-wise, it should be pretty damn tight, but we'll see if that makes a difference. First, they've got to win a pistol, though. That's a good start. AZ charging down the mid position. Sentry almost on his own. We've got Yugi not too far behind him. And they start to move back into more traditional positions. Yuri's made his way into the pit in the meantime. Doesn't have a good gun to go for these duels, though. Able J's the man with a P250, so that'll be a more fair fight. Might need 3 headshots to take somebody. Oh, no, just 2 actually, because it is there's no helmets. But anyway, North under 4 versus 2 now. We might not even see a bomb plus in this situation, and we won't. Headshots galore, and North win a much-needed pistol round.
Yeah, that's the start you wanted to see. North starting off with a good economy, and I'm curious what FURIA will go for here, whether they have a force buy in mind or something like that. Looks like it's not going to be the case. I mean, there's always stuff that you can do on a T side, but they will decide to go for that full safe. Bring out the AKs in the following rounds. And right now, it's not too much you can expect for FURIA to accomplish. Getting a couple kills would be really nice, but look at this. The MP9 is clotheslining these players on Banana. AZ having a pretty fun time. Bomb is down there as well, so this is pretty hopeless for FURIA at this point. 3 CTs sitting on the bomb as well.
Just a nerd note, in that pistol round, when the guy's in pit with the Glock, if he shot someone in the head from library, he wouldn't have killed them from that distance. P250 comes in clutch, but with a helmet, you could shoot somebody twice in the head with a Glock, and you'd have to shoot them again in a lot of cases to take them out. But it is balanced by the extra bullets versus the CT pistols. No damage done in this round by FURIA. This is perfect for North. 1 kill might cost about $3,000 for a CT player, so, or even more, I'd say as a minimum, with grenades and so on, even if you rebought an SMG. So every frag counts in that situation. So this is a very, very good start for North. We have the buy for FURIA. Very, very fond, not just of Augs, but of Kriegs. And the Augs were devastating in the first half. Perhaps North can have the same success. For now, it's only Yugi with the scope on the CT side. Got Kiabi with the MP5, which is a bad gun in comparison to the MP7, unless you're spraying through smokes. The lack of traces can be a benefit.
Already seeing those Kriegs brought to bear for FURIA. It is a signature move of them. And speaking of signature moves, are going incredibly aggressive down Archer. There will be a trade, but the damage exchange is so favorable for North, and Valdez looking for more. He's looking to confirm what's going on. So that smoke was supposed to deny information, and I thought that Valdez saw that they'd evacuated the position, but there's no rotation. AZ's actually alone here. There is a chance if AZ doesn't get the damage, but he will. He'll get all the damage. And Yuri, speaking of damage, he's taking far too much. Left on 4 HP. As he moves in to try to get the frag, he'll get sprayed down through the smoke, and North will pick up another round. So 3 in a row for them. A good start on this second half.
Even though they had a very nice hold of the B-bomb site there, I find it, I don't know if I missed something, but I find it really bizarre that they didn't rotate a player. From what I could see on the radar, they had a CT in Boiler. Yeah. As you said, he saw all the information top mid. But looking at the radar, there was, I wonder about communication, because how on earth did no one make a rotation towards the B-bomb site? That could have really easily gone terribly for them. It is early in this half, but that kind of thing can't happen later on. Otherwise, this is going to be a really difficult game of Inferno for them.
We're looking to see a half buy from FURIA. They don't have enough to get the full buy in, but you can get a few nades, some pistols, try to keep a pressure on your opponent's economy, and see if you can get a bomb plant, see if you can get a couple kills. I think an Inferno is really hard to get the bombs planted in situations like this because of all the choke points, how strong the defensive utility can be as well. But we'll see what FURIA can muster. They are a team full of surprises and can't put it past them to come up with something creative in a situation like this. Ooh, that nade has absolutely murdered FURIA. But that is so much damage. That is like 150 damage for one nade spread across 4 players. That is brutal.
Smoke on banana. AZ with some jump peeking. FURIA seem interested in a takeoff banana. You can see there's a lot of players in that area at the moment. And they have 3 flashbangs. Some jump peeking from Case Ratto as well as AZ. AZ's holding a smoke. Well, he's got one in the hole. He's not literally holding it. Spots a little bit. Now, will that draw players towards the B-bomb site? He's trying to hold on to his smoke, trying to get as much value for it as possible. There's still plenty of time to be had. Nice, simple lineup for the smoke. Very consistent smoke. One to look at in the demo. Pop flash for Art, which will go towards CT to allow a burst. But again, they're much better equipped here North. MP5 coming in handy. AbleJ and Art remain. Only one of the 2 has Kevlar, more flashbangs, and so far it's going as it should. So North have had a number of very, very clean rounds here against these Ecos. No frags for it. They've had very limited success. AZ's got almost $12,000 at the beginning of this round. So this is a fantastic start for North. They've got 4 from 4, and they've built themselves some money as well. They've got some backup in case something goes wrong. So now we've got a game on our hands.
The problem for FURIA now becomes the fact that Yugi's got an AWP, and he is pretty devastating with that AWP. You never know where he's going to attack you from. I mean, he can be as aggressive as Art. He can be as fancy as Art. And we're going to get a fast take of banana here coming in from FURIA. North have opted to go for a passive approach, not throwing any nades down towards banana at the beginning of the round. They're just going to see what pace FURIA want to play with. And that is a fantastic shot. Actually somehow finds a clean kill there, not even hitting him through the wall.
I feel like he shot him in the hand.
Yeah, that's really impressive from Yugi.
Yeah, and that was enough. You've really got to be careful about these peaks. We saw dry peaks from North towards the B-bomb site, and they paid for those, and it wasn't necessarily a peak, but it was poor positioning that was punished by North. A 2-man play in Boiler, just as FURIA tried. Didn't have much success, though, with their play, but perhaps North will.
And surely North have to know what's going on here. They have to know that the arch smoke and the Molotov, that's just a fake. And indeed, they've realized they're just leaving those 2 players in Boiler. Still 3 players on the B-bomb side. There's the Molotov onto the new box position. Vinny with the opening kill onto Valid. AZ has to drop into the molly. He's trying to spray find the bomber, but it's AbleJ to take him down. Yugi stuck back against the wall with the AWP. No help to be found in this position. I don't know if there can be a flashback from a teammate or something, anything to get him out of this position. The quick flick, it's not going to work out for him. And now it's down to Kirby and Gade, and they don't have much to work with here. And they're going to have to do everything. They have so much money that they may as well give it a go. At least try to contain these players.
Yeah, I think it's a case of containment. Absolute grenade spam from North, trying to keep them as contained as possible. Not quite working out, though, or is it? Kirby is getting some kills. High flashbang for himself. He's got to move away a little bit, but he won't be able to. And that is a round for FURIA, their first round of the half. That was a really interesting play towards B. It kind of reminds me of a rare play you would see from Fnatic a very, very long time ago in the Devil Walk days, where they would put a wall of smoke in front of the site and they would wrap around construction. They didn't seem to, they didn't fancy it too much though, but we saw AbleJ with, this is why it's kind of a hybrid, moving up on a barrel position, and the way they took the site from both directions was pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really cool because the position to kind of punish the jump up on the barrels is the new box spot, and they had the Molotov there. That was a really handy execute. And FURIA, their set pieces on the T side are devastating. So that's something that we didn't see from North, and that could make the difference here for FURIA. But they are, look at the pace on them when they go up banana. They're really punishing the fact that North are not throwing a huge amount of utility, although they will lose Vinny early on, but they have gained this position. And trading a player for positioning can be effective. Now the question is whether or not North are going to go for a pop flash information play towards top banana. Well, that smoke means that they won't.
Ooh, They know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's a disaster, but I love that grenade into AZ's position.
Yep.
They are, the level of detail, even though this is a complete fail for them, the level of detail in what they're trying to construct is so awesome to watch. Now 2 versus 4, but it's 2 versus 2 as far as the B bomb side is concerned. If they have to trade, that will be a disaster for them. Able J wide swings, but he's on his own, separated by the Molotov from his teammate. Yuri's got to do a lot with this AK-47. Spots one by Coffins, but Yugi will land the shot. And that is North coming straight back. Not a good start for FURIA at all in this half. And again, you start to wonder about a pick of Inferno over Mirage.
Yes, it's an interesting one. I do still have confidence for them. I think the fact that I think one of the reasons why they went up banana like this, obviously you never expect to lose 2 players from some spray in the smoke. But so I think the reason why they were hammering banana is because that set piece worked so effectively in the previous round. You know, if you can just get into a position to throw it again and execute it, which they were in, then surely there'd be more success.
When you get the molly down towards mid and you throw the spam towards banana, if you're going for a fast play on banana, as they did last round, as they did this round, it can be catastrophic. And it pretty much is at this point. They've lost a player. Vinny's almost gone as well. And they have a crap buy to begin with. So not the start FURIA wanted. As soon as you see that Molotov flying down mid, you've got to look at the grenades towards banana. Because if you pick that as a T side, it can be extremely costly. I think it's a Vanguard who like to do that as well. Now, what can FURIA do with what they have left? They've got 1 flashbang and 1 smoke grenade, so there's going to be a lot of dry peaks. No lotion for FURIA.
Surely they'll check it. Yes, they will, and they trade it out. That's pretty clean. 1 for 1, as good as you can expect. But Yugi on the side, how the hell do you deal with him? There is very little left at this point. Oh, and they line up. It's very easy for Gade. And there you go, 11 to 11. North have tied it up. FURIA only with 1 T round at this point. Obviously, North struggled just as much on the beginning of their T side. So we'll have to see if FURIA can turn things around as North did. And again, there's lots of options to go with. I do think that their B approach is pretty effective. North have not been super aggro on banana. They haven't been trying to get players deep banana. They haven't really been throwing the deep banana smokes. So there is a lot of space on the map that FURIA can definitely get, so they'll have positions to work from. It's just really a question as to what they think will be the weakness of North.
Speaking of weakness, Able J's had to pick up a Galil to get 4 grenades. But I think that's a good sign, actually. When you see a team who will sacrifice a weapon to get grenades, it should be an indicator that they are more prepared in terms of how they use their utility. And for sure, FURIA, we talk about it all the time. And we've seen some nice executes towards the B-bomb sites already. The timeout has come and gone, and North will start with just 2 players towards banana. Maybe feeling confident that they've deterred FURIA from those fast plays because they have been very costly. And indeed, FURIA seem to be a bit risk-averse now, just looking up banana, but not really running and maybe fearing eating those grenades. So, like North conditioned FURIA towards the end of the first half on banana with their own grenades, they've conditioned them on the CT side as well to be more apprehensive, it seems.
Oh, Finny gets flash forwards there to try to get an aggressive pick. And again, so you can see that FURIA definitely, if you're getting banana this easily, repeatedly, just keep doing it because it's so valuable to force the CTs into a spot where, at this point, the next phase of the default for FURIA is to take top middle. And that's fairly predictable that North will realize, okay, well, this is just normal top mid take. You got the arch smoke, some spray from Valde. But ultimately, North don't know what's going on now. So this would be a spot where you want to go for some information. You can see they'll try to do that on banana. They don't get anything because there's a player watching for that. But again, you don't know how many players are there still. So it's very confusing for North. They have to start thinking about either gambling or going for another information play.
So I mentioned, this is not quite a setup actually, and I won't have time to talk about it. So maybe during an eco. Oh my God. Oh, that... I need to look at that in the demo. That's just such a nasty peak. But what else can they do with it? There are still 2 players to be dealt with on this A bomb site. We've got Yuri looking for a rotation. So far, so good for Kiabi. He's got to get his bell rung, but he's still alive. But there are Molotovs who will fall eventually, and there is the A site taken. And again, we had Yuri waiting for that rotation. AZ was heading towards A, but he's thinking better of it. Does a 180 and moves back. So there is a setup towards Arch, which I've seen Liquid do once or twice, where somebody will hold basically a pixel angle, so too tight to really expect to get a kill, and they'll fire a shot, and somebody on the corner of the site here where the Vino sign is will pop out when they hear the shooting, so the teams will be distracted looking in arch and get taken down for free, theoretically. It's a pretty cool setup, but one you see very rarely indeed. But there's another round for FURIA, and there's still money for North. Again, they've had such a good start that they can weather the storm with the odd round lost here or there. They are winning the majority, and it's on FURIA to be consistent.
You know, I would expect North to be a bit more proactive and go a bit more aggressive in the next round. You can see that FURIA really punished North heavily for not having any control towards Banana earlier in the rounds. And the way that FURIA were able to contain, I forget who it was for FURIA lurking atop Banana, but they were able to contain the 2 players trying to go for an information play. That is pretty critical, because this is a spot where you want those 4 players, and this is just easy stuff for FURIA, just attacking this bomb site. You can see once they got the split going, it was impossible for North to avoid the crossfires, the utility usage. It was just so difficult. So North, I think they'll have to do what FURIA did and try to stop FURIA before they get to that point. So we might see more aggression towards top mid, we might see more aggression towards Banana, maybe 3 players starting towards Banana, just to try to mix things up a bit, because North have been very passive so far.
I just want to give props to those replays, but also to Sliggy observing. Even while I'm talking about a point in arch, he brings the cameras there to help me communicate to the people at home, so, and over here as well. So just props to those guys. Thank you very much for all the stuff you do. You'll never get enough credit for it. FURIA 12, North 11. We have 4 orgs. I would like to see North abuse them as FURIA did, because it was really nasty. Some of those holds from the porch top of mid. Really, really nasty indeed. Very, very tight. And I think FURIA maybe, I mean, again, picking Inferno over Mirage in the first place, I think shows some confidence. So I was about to say, if they were to lose Inferno, maybe that would shake them a little bit, but perhaps not. For them to pick it in the first place, I think they have to be pretty solid in their game. Now we're going to have a burst play top mid with this pop flash, and North have 4 players towards 8 early, so this is going to be a real war of attrition. Valde in the anti-flash angle, but he won't be anti-headshot. Absolute carnage on the top of mid. Gabi trying to fall back, gets his barung through the corner of the wall, and that is the round over, just like that. Thank you for coming, and goodbye.
That's kind of, that was what we were talking about. More aggression towards top mid or Banana. They chose top mid. They had a 4-man setup there because they wanted to stop FURIA before they get to this point where they can just deny all the information and just have North at their mercy. And you know what? They're at North's FURIA's mercy anyway. So, oh, they're going for, oh, quick little double. Cheeky stuff from Yugi, but can he stay alive? He's going to do his best to try to do that. And their money's starting to run low here. This would be a critical frag to get. And he's stuck in the corner. Vinny will finish him off. Great work there from FURIA. What a beautiful series of entry frags as they went towards top middle. North had 4 players there. They were ready for that, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah, no desire to pick up the AWP as well, which is good, because you don't always need it in a map such as Inferno. It can slow you down if you're looking for the faster plays and you want to be more nimble on the T side. And it's just not necessarily the best map for T side AWPing anyway. So they will continue with the 3 Kriegs and the 2 AK-47s. Not many teams or even players at this point who fancy the Krieg. More challenging spray than some of the other weapons. But again, 100% armor penetration, like a hot knife through butter. Banana's been taken early by FURIA, and now you start to see some shortcomings for North again. They built themselves a good padded economy, but that has come to an end. The mattress is very uncomfortable now. They will have passive positions. You can see AZ elevated, playing anti-flash for the time being. This looks like a brittle setup for North.
Oh, wow. And he's gone past the smoke. Oh, can he catch AZ? Yes, he absolutely can. And Valde's dead as well. This is not looking good, but Yugi, he's in position to maybe save this. The bomb is very far away. There's time here for Yugi to get to work, but that angle is too much. K-Serato with 2 kills in this round, and I think that North have been completely shut down here. They have no money. They've got to save these last weapons, and just as North did, James, FURIA are having a resurgence right at the end of this half, and it might be good enough to take the map.
I've never seen somebody hold an angle like that for construction. I am very excited just to download the demo. Not even to load it up, just to download it there. Like I've just upgraded from a 56K modem. I'm hyped to log on. FURIA moving to 14, that was a really solid round. And again, their T-side executes are absolutely savage, but you could see the problems for North. Again, it was a very, very brittle setup. They didn't have vision of even the approach to B. The smoke was too late. They were ahead of it already. And then the deletions began.
Yeah, it was a really good round. And that's one of the cool things about this team is they will take risks like that on the T side. And some teams are a little bit too afraid to take calculated risks. And you can do it. You can do it on the T side. As long as you have set pieces to back it up and good teammates who understand how to play off of you. So you know, you're covered if it goes wrong, and you can make it even more powerful if it goes well for you. We saw there, for example, that you know, Vinny gets ahead of the smoke, and then KSCERATO is there to actually play off of him if it goes well for him, which it did. So 14-11, FURIA in a great position. North, they were so comfortable for so very long, but just when it counts, FURIA really turning up here now as well. So UMPs are out, Deagle and Yugi. And we haven't really seen Yugi get going in the way that he did against MIBR, James. So I don't know if that's FURIA being able to just shut him down with their utility or what it is, but they need something. And Yugi probably won't be able to deliver it with just a Deagle in this round.
Sounds like a pub with the football on down there. KSCERATO with 22 frags. Art hasn't had much to do in this game so far. On the CT side, it was mostly information-based. Just his positioning was giving a lot to the team. But he's 8-16. But again, it's a team effort. Just coming out of the CT side as well, depending on the position you play, you might not get that much opportunity. Molotovs and smokes up on Banana. Valde and AZ in position behind them. Again, you see the limitations now. The UMPs, Yugi with the Deagle, he can get some work in with that. But again, things are going from bad to worse. This is a really bad time for your economy to start to just sink into the mud.
It really is, but it's one of the best maps to have a buy like this for the CT side. But that said, you know, FURIA, they're a team that don't get scared of, you know, smoke plays and so on and so forth. They're pretty good at taking the initiative and sort of bundling in together if they need to. And that's, you know, using the smoke grenades and incendiaries and slowing down your opponent and running the clock down, you know, with your utility is one of the ways in which you win a round like this for North, because you don't have the weapons, the firepower necessarily. But if you can force close to mid-range engagements, it can be pretty respectable. But it could come down to timing here as well. And this is a great timing for a pop flash. Absolutely. Oh, maybe not. What the hell was that? Oh, just spins around 90-degree flick. And lands one straight in Gabe's face. Oh, no. North are in some trouble here. But Kirby, he's got one. He's in the pit position. He's still alive, actually. He's repositioning a little bit around the pit position, trying to get some more value. But my God, these headshots are devastating.
Yeah, that smoke was just in all the wrong places. You couldn't see any of the players, and then KSCERATO just says no, and that's going to be that, really. So the awareness from Art is absolutely unreal. He sees the flashbangs, he knows what it means, and he's just there to deliver the headshot immediately. Great presence of mind from FURIA, fantastic focus as well, to be able to turn instantly and realize what was about to happen. That was awesome, that was clutch, and that puts FURIA at game point in the first map of this best-of-3 series.
Yeah, they're looking really strong. Then you take down Valde, just AZ remaining. Saving that UMP. Oh man, it's going to be so ropey this buy in this next round for North. It's going to be very difficult.
That was epic. That's so awesome to see. What's not awesome, though, is the buy for North, which we'll see in a second.
Wow.
Absolutely savage, KSCERATO.
It's like an afterthought when he frags people.
He kind of looks like a rapper. A little bit. 3 UMPs, Valde, AZ, and Kiabi wishing maybe they had the French gun that Gade is carrying. Yugi's on a Deagle once again. This is what North have to defend with, and they're going all in, moving down the mid position. There's a smoke. They're heading towards the mid, in fact. And, well, they've got one frag. Yuri's in a very awkward position, but he is going to more or less get a 1v1. Not much you can do to really abuse the numbers in that situation. Kiabi moving. Look at the variance. We've got FURIA now heading towards that B bomb site. AZ's falling back. Caught just throwing a grenade, and that might be the frag that wins FURIA the map.
Yeah, what a great adjustment from them. They see the mid pressure and they understand, okay, if we can basically force our way into the B bomb site. There's not enough players there to defend that, and they are able to do that. However, it's not over just yet. Yugi, Gade, Kirby, all three still alive. There are some guns to be collected as well. Gade's upgraded to an AK-47. Still just a deagle for Yugi, but we get some retake utility coming in here from North. Let's see if they can do something with this. Off angle from K Serato. He's not going to whiff at all, nor will any of his teammates. And that's going to be that 16-11. An impressive performance from FURIA out of the gate, but North still have so much more to offer in this best of three.
A very confident FURIA.